way, just while we're seeing some of the signs in the audience. I'm a little bit disappointed so far. We haven't had much chanting or singing.
That's true.
It was missing.
But it's the first day.
It is the first day.
They all need to get to the arena.
Right.
Then they need to get to each other. Then they have to think of it in the first night out, the pub, and then the next day they come in and have the chance.
I think, and then I'm sure Ted's had this thought as well, I think there's a secret forum somewhere where someone invents songs and then they all come to events and they all know the words. How does that work?
But it's after the first night. The Friday night pub is when the forum
also, you know, it's like barely afternoon.
Yeah.
That's, you know, give them a chance.
Get some pints down.
Then we'll get the chance going.
There's 2 more series after this.
You don't want to burn out, you know?
5 seconds left.
It's a long weekend.
Can't force these things. It just has to happen.
So again, Liquid's 2 bans are just both bans to prevent Gambit being able to pick solid position 5 to deal with the Morphling. It also doesn't actually show what Liquid wants into the second phase. Because again, teams can either ban for what they've already picked or ban for what they're planning. And again, because they've done the 2 bans on the Morphling, Gambit aren't picking anything up and able to actually predict what's going to come forward. But I am liking the fact that Gambit has 2, like, sure, they got the Centaur early, but it's initiation, the team fight, the disengage as well. They haven't put themselves into a corner like they did last game with the first phase Wraith King.
Dire pick.
That one coming.
I wouldn't be surprised if they pick up their plus 5 right now, like a... Oh, the Warlock, okay. I was going to say Bane, but either way. Immense team fight, really good in meta right now, so...
It's banged out.
He's definitely not that tiny. Like, look at him. He's like a child compared to those other two.
No, he's a midget.
He's not that small. He's not that small.
I was trying to compare their heights to our heights, and you're taller than me.
10 seconds.
Balloon's going
Red
off.
balloon.
Stop killing IO.
It's like a sniper
5
every
seconds
time.
left.
I still think, though, Gambit are putting themselves into a position again where Liquid could pick this early tempo draft again where they can control the map.
Absolutely.
Warlock doesn't deal with the push that well. Centaur doesn't really deal with it. He does naturally buy Crimson Guard. But again, you want the blink early on. Again, Earththreat, same situation. So I feel Liquid, right now, they could easily take this draft towards a, we're going to be hitting all your towers again.
Did you see them pick and Profit again?
Potentially. They could easily pick the Profit right now because it would be 5 or 3. Gambit has to pick another hero. Then Liquid can decide, are we putting it support, pick a cheese hero? So sure, the Furion can work. Or they could also just pick like another Crystal Maiden type hero or something just to enable the rest of the draft. So.
I think Kuro likes those kind of backline 5s, doesn't he?
They could even Abaddon as well, just to... Or they could even 5 Brew. Could be kind of cool. With the tone change,
Yeah, I mean, Puppy was doing 5 Brew last year, wasn't he?
I just think the Brew v Warlock, the Golem, it does a lot of damage to it. So I think it just works. It's nice. And you've got a lot more control. When they do want to disengage, you can just shoot some guy up in the air. And now they have like, oh, okay, guess we're actually taking this fight. So I think that could be a quirky one that they could pull out, but we'll see.
Do you think this is the time to get quirky?
I think Liquid's good enough to be sometimes quirky.
I'm dying.
Well, there's a backline 5 with a 1
Radiant's
press.
turn to pick.
He just wants that simple final game. He's just going to sit back, win me the game, boys.
There's a lot more to it than that, lads.
Run in, press button.
No.
Well, that's all I learned from it, anyway.
No,
Well,
you're playing it wrong.
you got to tomb on the high ground.
There's a lot of finesse.
Is there? That's not what PPD told me.
You got to heal people at the right time.
But he's not in this tournament anymore.
Yeah.
So
They didn't get out of group stage.
10 seconds.
yeah, get out of here.
Just saying.
This is TI, mini TI.
Talk when you've won a TI.
5 seconds left.
That's the simple excuse.
Dire's
That's the
turn to
past.
ban.
We're in the present right now.
Shame and 4th pick.
And there we go again. We got the push. They're punishing
Yep.
the fact that Gambit is drifting more towards a teamfight orientated mid-game, late-game draft. And Liquid, with their last pick, they're going to pick another hero that's going to be able to put this 4-man into Gambit's face, and the Morphling will just be able to farm in the pockets.
Nice dragon.
Hello.
10 seconds.
Hello, people.
I just like saying hello when people are waving.
Hi, Immersion.
5 seconds
No,
left.
it's not. Whoops, my bad. Oh well.
That's all right.
The haircut, that does it.
Sure. What's going through Kuro's mind? I think he's thinking, we got this, lads. Round it out.
Yeah,
Easy peasy.
he's happy as... Look at him. He's got all the picks he wants. He's got the push. He's got the team fight. They've still got the ability to just pick this obnoxious hero.
And you've still got Morph to worry about.
Yeah, exactly.
What are they scared of? What are Liquid worried about here? Is there any hero that Gambit could pick where Liquid are like, oh, we didn't think about that?
I think they do suffer from like a lot of catch. For example, like a Quap or a Storm could potentially be scary. It plays into the early game. It has a lot of burst damage. It could, like when they want to group up and push, it could be kind of annoying. But
yeah.
Radiant's turn to ban.
They ban out Viper.
Viper ban.
This could either be some lead towards an Ursa pick from Gambit. This could lead towards some maybe Oscar, but I'm really not buying that one.
Hey, do you want to know the last time that Liquid played an Undying and a Morph in the same game?
Oh, do tell.
2015.
Close. 2016 at TI, where they paired it with a Mirana.
5 seconds left.
Unfortunately, I don't think Mirana is really a hero, so
it's not a real hero anymore. Unless Moon's playing it, by the way.
That's true.
It's the only one that seems to be able to make it look reasonably okay.
And sometimes Sumail. Sometimes.
Yeah, it takes an exceptional draft and an exceptional performance to seemingly have a good game on Mirana these days. So, one more ban. Viper ban? Or my eyes going
Yes,
bad?
it is a Viper ban, yeah.
I don't see many Viper bans, but
I just feel like Liquid's just going to...
Radiant ban.
it's Liquid.
Dire's turn to
I just feel...
Into Brood. There you go. We knew it was coming.
Oh, no.
It had a lot of signals in this draft, and we do get a Brood.
Do you know when you get those tingly feelings about how Liquid...
Is it called spider senses?
Why, thank you.
I have never seen people cheer a Brood pick before. That's chills my
I'm claiming it's a prediction. I'm 100% claiming it was a
They
prediction.
were cheering because of your prediction.
10 seconds.
It's not as cheesy as it used to be.
Oh, come on, don't say it.
No,
It is.
not as
It
5
is.
seconds
It
left.
sits mid, it takes your tower, it farms the jungle, farms your wave,
Yeah.
you can never chase him, you don't have enough reliable stuns on Gambit.
What's the best thing they picked against him, though? Monkey King?
Dog Kunk is good because he's got wave clear.
Yeah, but Monkey King.
Templar
Choose your hero.
And then I was going to say that you need someone who can push out the wave. Potentially could have put the Centaur mid, just double stout and play.
Yeah.
But TA does really well. He's going to be able to farm us the Spiderlings with side blades. It's just simply if the Shaman does come mid once or twice and the TA is put out of lane and displaced, he's going to have a really rough time. So I think if the TA has a good start, is able to get the early levels, then he can play up into the Brood.
Okay. Ted, what are your thoughts on the draft?
I mean, if you can last pick Brood, I'm pretty sure you've won. That's the way it feels.
Is it still an auto
Well,
win?
almost last pick.
Yeah, ninth pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it still an auto win?
I don't know if it's auto win, but with the way they played in the last game, the draft they've got, and a late pick Brood, I'm scared. I'm scared for Gambit.
They just got the heroes that they wanted. They've got the Brood Mother. Gambit does have this kind of timer, so not time. Weak in the start. Window
Yeah,
that
window.
where they
You're
can be
worried.
punished again.
I sense worry.
I'm so
I sense worry from both of you. Have we got worry in the commentary desk? Oh, I don't know. Let's find out as we head into game number 3 with everything on the line.
Well, if you're a team worried, as game 2, they won the back of game 2 off of a last pick momentum here on Lone Druid. Seems like Liquid are going to repeat that formula here with a last pick Brood Mother.
Yeah, the Liquid Brood. It's the thing about it is a lot of people discredit. I see a lot of comments saying, they can only win with one strategy. Well, if it was that simple, then everyone would beat them. But it's not that simple, and sometimes in this draft, you have to worry about these things. And it's part of what made them so deadly at TI, was because they had so many 10th pick trump cards. Once I saw Miracle start to play Meepo the other day, I was like, they've added another one. I don't think of it as cheese. It's like, you have equal opportunity to ban and pick in this game. If you forgot about it, you forgot about it.
Yeah.
You have nobody to blame but yourselves, really.
Oh, is that like the 4th game on record for Miracle and Meepo or something like that? It's like...
But this Brood one, come on, man. Like,
yeah.
Aussies play like 100 Brood.
30
At this point, if you're caught unawares,
Well, the Lone Druid definitely got them unawares, and we've seen a lot of Lone Druid out of Matu. Are they more prepared for the Broodmother?
I mean, they must have thought that the TA was like the Trump pick, but there's a lot for her to get through. Like, I don't think this is the easiest TA pick. Let me say, TA versus the zombies, so annoying to play. Just constant stuff that you have to get through is TA's least favorite thing.
This one's for all the marbles. If marbles were at all
There's zombies.
Right-click war underneath the Sandstorm, and Immersion does manage to snag it away, so he takes all that damage, but he does get something for it, which is a 2-for-2 trade.
Mid lane already starting to block up a little bit. Make life easier for himself here as
4 mangoes. Just mango it up.
Spam those spiders. I mean, you don't really have anything else that you have to do with your mana.
Yeah.
And stats don't really inherently help this hero, I think.
We're going to have a once again, Gambit just keep on going with the same kind of formula in their off lanes, which is Afterlife's going to be the one showing in lane, and then we're going to just use our support. It's not going to be Immersion this time. FNG is going to be the one to cut the wave, the second wave that happens, and just try and pull it all back. Meanwhile, Team Liquid do the exact same formula as well, where they leave Mind Control a solo off-lane situation and just try and go for the full defensive tri-lane as best as possible.
I will say this was Apo's hero that he requested, right? I mean, he had the 10th overall pick.
Yeah.
So they clearly thought that this was the trump card. We're going to counter you with this.
And it's going to be really good in the laning phase, right? Like, we have the side blades just to be able to cut down the Spiderlings when they finally come out. Right now in the laning phase, he's just totally out CSing the Broodmother. 7-7 compared to 1-0.
I think it's fine, especially because, I mean, you go 4 mangoes, you have no base damage. This TA is going to eat your Spiderlings, which doesn't really care that much. Like, if he gets another deny off, that would have been very helpful.
Simultaneously, it is a Radiant side Broodmother, so he's got very quick access here to this this camp. That's where most of the Spiderlings are going to be headed. He's not going to try and feed them too many times to the Templar Assassin. So yeah, overall, how do you think this laning phase is going to go? Is this going to be an advantage for Gambit? And it seems like they're already winning the mid lane, and I don't really see how top goes bad. I mean, it's a troll. I feel like it's always hard to pressure a troll.
I'll say it's never fun to play against Miracle free farm morph. Like, you know what makes him such a good morph for me is when he actually becomes another hero.
Yeah.
It's so scary. It's like you didn't even get to see his full kit because the Nyx was so under-leveled. That was like, I guess, the upside of Immersion being so under-farmed.
He didn't have high levels of mana for Equalize as well.
Yeah.
Mind Control back into the center here, has to Burrow Strike away. He does have a Fairy Fire as well as a healing salve, so I don't anticipate he dies here, but Immersion really does want to cancel some of that regen. Get the Rolling Boulder up in a second with the Orb of Venom. Nah, he's not going to go for it.
A little bit more passive in this laning phase. And his Nature's Prophet was so active in that previous game. The best part about playing NP is once you've taken enough towers, you'll get your net worth. You'll get a few last hits with your ulti too. Bottom lane.
You know what I really like about this is that the support lane swap is so good for Gambit. Right? Because the Earth Spirit wouldn't be able to do anything against the defensive tri-lane, right? And on top of that, the Warlock is really good against the Undying because you naturally lower his health pool, meaning heal is even more effective. But after all, caught here, and then it's going to be your first blood for Miracle. So not just a free-farming Miracle Morphling, but one that is also getting killed as well. Mind Control does have a Burrow Strike through the two of them and has a Sandstorm up. He wants to dodge this last hit from the Hawk. He does also have a Magic Stick for the roll-in. It's going to land, but it's not enough damage. They don't have the vision either. Mind Control lives, yes, but he has to walk all the way back to base compared to our Centaur, who just kind of died and returned immediately.
Yeah, look at this bottom lane. This FNG just going to TP out once he connects with the waves. Trying to make life easier for his offlaner. Hasn't had the best of time so far. This mid lane, TA just continues to dominate in CS charts. My man going through mangoes also has a soul ring now. And this is where Apo has to be careful. And there's a lot put on you when you get the 10th pick like this.
Yeah.
You decide, like, this is the hero that counters all other heroes. Because oftentimes, your drafter, I mean, he'll figure out, like, the first 3-4 picks, but when it comes to a mid player, like a mid player will always know better. Like, these are the matchups that are good for me. This is the conditions in which I can play Dota. To say, you know, this guy carried them in game number 1, and they all played very well, but I thought he had a fantastic performance with that last pick Quap. He's got to do something similar.
He's starting off the laning phase at least looking good. 5-minute bounty runes, managed to kick mind control out of his own sandstorm here, canceling it. And looks like he's going to secure both these bounties. So once again, we're going to have the split 2 for 2.
Mind control continues to be stuck so far at level 3. This GH is coming behind. They would burn through the refraction charges so quickly.
Yeah, if they could just have the disables, that's what GH is bringing right now with the shackles.
And they ping successfully, so they know that something's happening right now on the map. And so he's playing very far to the left, and he's going to put a trap there, which should make this nigh impossible.
They've got to get a sentry in that mid lane. Really just can't let the Templar Assassins start owning that mid lane with the traps.
Oh, bottom lane.
Especially since they do damage. They are going to be able to catch somebody here with the shackles. It's going to be the Centaur, but FNG's already thrown out the healing ward. I think Liquid realized it's not even worth going on the Centaur at all, even harassing him at that point, because then you're just building up retaliate charges for him.
Yeah, just reset off of him. It's fine. You were hoping that the Warlock was going for something there. When he isn't, you know, nothing lost really. But this mid tower actually being taken pretty quick by Afo, and he's got to be careful. It's dangerously low there.
Yeah, he really pushes it to the limit there because he wanted to get as much damage on that tier 1 tower. If you can take a Broodmother's tower in the first 10 minutes of the game, that is so advantageous.
Yeah, Afo
managed to find mind control, throw strike into the low ground. It's going to be fine, but is Afo going to be fine? Doesn't look like it. Caught in the shackles, and he burns through the refraction so quickly. He turns around, just tries to kill spiders because he knows he's dead. Might as well get as much farm as possible.
And what gets him killed there is going for those extra tower hits. Kept him in such a precarious position, and he opted not to go back. But GH will gank you. This guy loves coming mid. He loves bouncing between the lanes.
As you can see, Matama Man doing a really great job of making sure that he doesn't feed away any spiders.
As a crowd, they want to see it.
Pretty happy with the Liquid start here, but it's not that advantageous for them. They're only up by good 500, 600 net worth right now.
And once
both safe laners are totally free farming.
They've got to do something about this rotation though, and
yeah,
this time around they do have a hero that can move in immersion. We talked about how in the previous 2 games they didn't really have supports that can move around. Warlock's not going to do it. It feels like FNG's this like level 6 kind of now start making plays, but immersion definitely makes some impact on the map happen.
Great read by FNG, knowing that the vision was put behind that tier 1 tower. His triangle is also pretty heavily warded. I mean, look at that. High ground vision, then there's a deeper ward as well. That's 4 different wards he had all in that one area. Only one of them was sentryed so far, as FNG didn't really have the gold beforehand. Now he's going to be caught by GH, though. He's going to know there's going to be another ward in that area, but he's probably going to die for it. Luckily, just run out of disables here. They do have the damage, though. There they are, able to finish him off. The tier 1 mid tower does die at that time, though. So FNG may die, yes, but he kind of interrupted the supports, I think, in their rotation over to the Templar Assassin kill.
Yeah, going to make Afo's life a lot easier. Now he can just bounce to the jungle. And I think because of how this was set up, he's now just going to play the left side. Because he has to know there's so many wards up there. Especially when your Warlock gets caught out like that.
Radiant fortified
so it'll reset things for the time being. Liquid off to another good start, 3-0. Tama Man going to find the ward, no problem.
Opens up the Ancient Camp for that 9-minute spawn. Another one of those mid heroes that really wants to abuse the Ancient stack. So you're going to see both supports kind of doing similar things here. In fact, look at this. Immersion's even getting the body blocking just to make sure there is quickly.
I'm not sure what he expected there.
Well, that was not killing an Ancient Camp.
It's even better because you got so much XP.
Yeah. You did kill the Centaur as well for Team Liquid.
Yeah, they're off to another, so far, sterling start. 5-0. Semi-expected, I think, because of the laning phase. They're into the trap again, where I feel like they have two cores that just kind of want to farm.
GH, they have this really get the hit from the red. He gets it just in time.
Yeah, they're going to get on the board right here. They're going to even leave it for Dahak. GH was trying his best.
Dire's top tower
10-minute
might
bounty
be
runes.
going
Gambit
down.
have already made this heavy rotation to the right side of the map, so that should be all their bounties there. Mind control, freely controlling up top. We'll see where Gambit goes from here. If they're going to lead the Centaur in this lane with the Troll, and they're just going to try and pressure this early tower, knowing that a hero like Broodmother, very stationary, especially since she hasn't taken the opponent's mid-tier one, can't really do that classic Brood spread. And instead, just going to have that heavy focus on farming.
Yeah, when you protect that mid tower, you just deny her your own triangle. That's the bigger part, is what Immersion should have known. Getting rid of her own ancients, I think, is way too ambitious.
Dire's
You just don't have the heroes that have a lockdown and killer at that point.
Yeah.
You need your Centaur to be a lot more farmed.
Radiant's middle tower is not feeling the love.
FNG going to be epicenter here by mind control. GH is also cutting across. FNG maybe just one or two levels. Maybe save his tower. Afterlife, I'm not sure how easily with the Sandstorm. I don't know how well he can actually kill those Serpent Wards. Maybe with the Glyph, as it forces the heroes back, he can start picking apart those Serpent Wards. GH clearly does not want to let this happen and is going to try and slow it down. We're going to pop that center ultimate. They're going to be able to finish off GH with the rotation from Apo. Now, immediately, you're going to see the Broodmother try and take that mid-tier 1 tower while Apo is gone.
Troll needs to come over.
And he will, as well as Apo. They're both going to return.
Dire's
That was just a great rotation, very fast from Gambit.
Yeah, they didn't commit the TATP. That was the big part about it.
Yeah.
But once again, anytime you do a move like this, Liquid also feels okay because, I mean, they've got a Miracle Morphling just absolute free farming. Hasn't been touched. Highest net worth in the game by 300.
Another safe laner that is great at being able to take that tower by himself.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Not much the Troll could do in that situation against a 3 Wraith Band, Power Treads, and Yasha Morphlings.
Yeah, both Morph and Brood floating with that top net worth. Just goes to show you how well both their cores are doing.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Liquid have really slowed down the Templar Assassin by routinely invading into that area, getting some blocks onto the ancient camps and such.
She does have Deso now, though.
Yeah.
Very good Deso timing. Partially because she was able to take the mid tower and get the last hit on it early on.
So are you going to be able to use this Deso, though? Are you going to be able to use this Deso to take any other towers? Can somebody else sit in mid lane?
I mean, ideally, you want like Centaur plus like Warlock just sitting there, and you want your Warlock to hit B level 6, which he is now, finally, but much slower than you normally are just because of the new tome change. But you do want somebody to just sit mid so that your TA, who's the highest net worth on your team, can start to make some plays.
They already did a little bit of damage to mind control. Dire's in trouble. They're going to slow him down as best as possible. Mind control with the retaliate stacks, man. He had it maxed out and just beats mind control to death. However, that mid-tier 1 tower with the Serpent Wards as well as the Spiderlings this time around, Gambit cannot make a fast enough rotation back to defend that tower.
Yeah, and Apo, I'm not really sure. I guess he went for the Arcane Rune, and during that time, they just came and took his tower, but you've got to be able to slow that down.
I think not.
Dire is scanning for enemies.
Well, at least he'll be able to farm the Serpent Wards up. But this does mean if the Broodmother continues to go for this, especially now that he's got the Diffuser Blade as well as that the Medallion of Courage, there's so much kill power on this Broodmother. She starts controlling that mid lane, starts pushing in a little bit, starts controlling up the dark side. We're going to see go for the kill now on Apo. That's where the Centaur ultimate's going to be popped. Stampede allows Apo to get away from that Broodmother when the Diffuser Blade is used.
It's going to be a very good tool to disengage off that Brood.
Radiant's bottom tower needs a hand.
And a good tool to maybe catch out the Broodmother every once in a while as well. This is a really cool feint here from Gambit. They were 2 behind a Hawk, and then they actually smoked and thought about moving somewhere else.
But not for long.
They're going to return to the Troll, though, just in case Liquid try to make some sort of defensive play. I don't anticipate it, mostly because You got a Morphling still wants to farm right now, doesn't want to fight. A Broodmother who can't really move that well around the map.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
You're okay, I think, with the pace of the game.
Yeah.
You know that your 2 cores are still getting absolute free farm.
Radiant's bottom tower
is heavily sacrificing the support's levels at the start, but they're still able to catch up off of the double tone, level 6 and 7 respectively at 15 minutes for Kuro and GH.
Dire's top tower is about to be Radiant's top tower.
Another tower being taken.
Dies so quickly, and how does Gambit set up on this one?
Radiant's
and to deal with the circle boards first during this glyph timing. If they cut through the jungle, Matumba Man's going to be aware and may even be able to find a kill, blink away, and roll out. Gambit will escape from Matumba Man, yes, but can't easily connect to that tier 2 to join the rest of their team.
Yeah, still yet to see how exactly they want to utilize this TA. Does have quite a bit of farm and got like 4 spiders right there.
Another hard part against Broodmother, hard to get control over the Roshan pit. Yeah. There's not going to be an easy way for Gambit to be able to sneak that one, so they need a successful pick-off on one of these big cores.
Definitely can't just smoke in there and try to reset.
Yeah. We've seen so many TAs do once they have that Desolator. Can't really do that here. Oh, what a time for a pause. Fortunately, the smoke has not popped. FNG is yet to use his Golem.
I mean, they have Golem, plus they've got the blink on the TA and the roll in from the Earth Spirit. That might be enough to kill the Brood.
Yeah, it's going to be like 3 seconds of stun here.
Feeling fresh?
Oh, no.
Not even that close. Maybe Miracle becomes the Earth Spirit and starts doing some rolls of his own.
A little bit surprised they didn't pop the Stampede at that time. Afterlife does have his Blink Dagger though, so that is another tool they can use to start hunting the Broodmother. Also can help for going for this Morphling.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Some heavy rotations down to the bottom lane. Do you want to set up on this one? They're going to lead off onto the Troll. The Hawk just taking a bit of damage. Will actually turn around on Kuro, telling Liquid that if they want to defend this, they're going to have to wait one on out. Still need to be able to help out the Troll. They put the stand position seems to be the best tool for Morphling to utilize.
Oh, of course.
Like the last game, it was like Carapace and Impale were insanely good on
It's
that
a free distance closer. That makes it so that you don't have to commit the waveform.
Find those sneaky bums.
You always have a way to jump out at. You can see they just have so many, especially with the Diffuser Blade that inhibits slowing them down. And then great positioning with the Tombstone.
I think once they use the Centaur ulti and the Rock.
No, Emerge, he's going to be in trouble. Man's done, but he's immediately Gambit. Juggling into the positioning to go for this one as soon as they use the Golem. Liquid, they want to fight and win it with the Roshan pit, but Appo, he's trying. Oh, look at that. They actually got the Beetle Bonds off the Roshan. He's got to get to the shrine. Look at Matumba just using Lifesteal to be able to stay alive. They can take for themselves. Picks up the Aegis for the Troll, but now Matumba Man, he's going to come out of the game. He's trying to take out the Templar. That's gets him right through. Going to take out the Troll as well. This is going to be life for him. He does so with the banana transfer. With no Centaur, they only have an Earth Spirit. Can maybe roll in. Do a little bit something here. Maybe kill the two-man burrow strike. Sticking on top of the Hawk. They pop the battle trance down just kind of as best as possible. Honestly, the support's just got to get out of here. They can't really stay there. They just got to save their own lives. FNG kick doesn't this one. It does manage to kill GH, but can he get out? Slow down by Miracle. The strength to dash strike. And they will get another core kill. That started off so good. If only they could have disengaged cleaner.
And once it's gone on top of the TA, there was absolutely no way. It was such a sick Fatal Bonds, and you start to see why the hero is more prioritized than he used to be. But Matumba and still had his ult active, gets on top of the TA. There's just no real way for her to fight. And that's kind of what I was concerned about with the 10th pick. Like, with your 10th pick TA, you're thinking to yourself, like, this is the counter pick. But you see right there, she doesn't really have the ability to fight the Brood.
Yeah.
With the BKB especially, there's nothing that can really save. Maybe the Rock. You can't root through BKB either, so it's really just the Rock that stops the Brood.
You can talk about your laning phase until you're blue in the face, but at some point you're going to get into team fight territory.
And the Fatal Bonds right here, hitting everyone.
So good, and I love how quickly Gambit jumped on that, man. Apo literally blinking into the pit to try and get the damage out as quick as possible. If Liquid didn't have that shrine, but Tamaman was pretty quick on realizing what was happening as well with the lifesteal on the neutrals.
And they stuck around to kill the wards.
And also, they didn't have that Centaur. He wasn't up, nor did he have Stampede, so they can't really get a good way to get out of the pit and away from these heroes. They killed like one core with that Fatal Bombs damage from Roshan. Then it would have been a massive win for Gambit. They may not have lost the team fight immediately afterwards, but 12-7. Liquid representing a 2,000 net worth lead. Blitz, do they have better late game?
Liquid?
Yeah.
I have to feel like this more should go relatively unchallenged. And I think Shaman late game is 6. With the Aether Lens plus the cast range talent.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you're the unchallenged king of disable. It's much easier to play, I think.
Totally agree with that, but at the same time, Liquid also have some heroes that sharply drop off later to the game, right? I mean, Dying does for sure. Broodmother, I think, does better in late game than she ever used to, but is still not going to be as powerful as she is at 25, 35 minutes.
And you could get the Ags and just go Sonic.
That's true. Get webs all over the map. Is the standoff. They know mind control. They know where he probably is. It's where most Sand Kings are going to be playing right now with their Sandstorm, but actually repositioning the Sandstorm and gets a little cubby here. Really want him to show himself that they can just get that stomp from the center. They're looking hard to farm up the neutrals, but mind control's being so patient.
I'm not really sure.
They're two right now. They know something's going on. You would be so patient, why'd you butt? Well, she's going to be able to get a hex. Maybe he can delay. No, maybe not. They're actually going to turn again. And I think at this point, you realize that Liquid teleported 2 supports, but none of the cores are here. 2 Axles just run them over with the Stampede. That is mind control as well as his 2 supports dead. And let's take that tier 2. If they had just chilled out, they would have taken top tier 2's Liquid for absolutely free.
And something should have gone on inside of Liquid's head. At least mind controls. He should be thinking to himself, like, why did that just happen? No one's showing on the map. I'm at bottom. They're not trading 2 towers here. Something's
we just dropped Serpent Wars on a tier 2 and they're not doing anything about it.
They have the jungle. Like, Liquid was pushing into their jungle. So there's... I mean, that was sick, though, from Gambit. That was the most patient thing I've ever seen. Because after the tier 2 gets taken, surely you have to be thinking to yourself as well, oh geez, like, we've done it now.
We thought he was just going to be faster at blinking.
How does that even work?
Or something, but
it was just fun because it felt like he knew the entire time. Yeah. And then the tower gets taken, and suddenly he thinks it's safe. I mean, that was the weirdest game of chicken. Which Gambit, you know, it's working out perfectly.
Oh, absolutely.
They get 3 kills and a tower, so it's like they traded.
Traded very nicely.
They just finished the BKB on the TA too, so it's not like
wanting to fight top. For enemies.
So this was just an overall, I think, win for them.
I think that's a very important item. We also have the Spirit Vessel that's almost done from the Earth Spirit, which has been sped along by having a successful fight and the tower taken. Meanwhile, though, we always have to talk about the impending doom that is Miracle. He's got Manta as well as E-Blade right now. Looking at BKB or Scotty next.
I'd really like him to get BKB. Remember the game that Nisha played against EG where he had the game wrapped up? You don't have to be so cute. Your E-Blade does so much damage already. You just want to make sure that you can get it all off. And there is enough stun on the side of Gambit where I feel like they could burst you.
Like half the time when Tamaman goes and hits neutral's camp, Apo's right there to hit that same camp to get Sideblade hits on the Spiderlings. Aghanim Scepter it is for Tamaman. I wasn't sure if it was like, is it really good? Is it really bad? Seems Tamaman. This will mean you have pretty much have a near local presence.
Yeah, in one of your heroes to be able to like get on top of people.
Yeah.
Then getting items that would enable that.
So he's basically getting it as his like kind of third item with Diffusal Blade BKB, and then just gets a value now.
just so he's not too squished into all this physical damage that TA represents. Blast for the Sand King. What other big ticket items do we got? Okay, we're gonna go for Aghanim's Centaur because of the free pathing that you're gonna get. That'll be great to pursue the Broodmother over cliffs and stuff.
Ah, good call.
Yeah, is there anything else that really sticks out? I mean, what items are we waiting for where one team or the other is really gonna try and fight? Because it seems like both are kind of okay with just farming. And I'm not terribly surprised because they both have heroes that scale later into the game.
I think both are just waiting for the next Roche.
Yeah.
At this point, may respawn in 30 short seconds.
So we're probably looking at, in 30 seconds, one team or the other is probably going to go for some sort of smoke play where we look for a fight that controls the Roshan pit.
Yeah, I'm down to, they might even just go for smoke right now. Because they should know that it's up in 30.
Yeah.
So they're going to go for it right here to Hawk. It's not to be in that smoke with the rest of his team. I think they're just looking for a single pickoff.
Yeah.
So what he's going to do is he's going to put pressure on this bottom tower, force somebody else from Liquid to go down. And as soon as he shows, he can run away and reset and let his team look for somebody. And that's precisely what he's doing. So he's going to back up now. Don't get caught while your team is smoked. That is the worst thing that can happen.
This is the best position Mind Control can be in. He's Sandstorm next to a ward where he has good vision. Might be able to get the heads up, but he actually gets nailed by Immersion first. Burn strikes to the side, but now he's going to be found out. No opportunity to be able to get the blink away. That is exactly what Gambit wanted out of the situation, as long as nobody gets picked off as a result.
It's perfect. Just my biggest pet peeve is when carries go for farm when your team's going for smoke. You don't have to connect to them. If you're not going to connect to them, just be safe on the map. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to push forward for anything. Your team's getting a kill on the map. They're doing something. They're going to grab a tower most likely out of this too.
So we have now gone from you having 8 to 20.
Radiant's top tower just tapped out.
And your movement speed goes from 70% to 100%.
All right, 566 move speed. He's just dropping them.
He's just throwing them all over.
Why not? He's bored. I don't even know if you can find 20 spots for webs. Look at this. The entire map does not look to play on right now.
I'm not sure if you can get the entire map, but you can definitely get from your fountain to the enemy fountain.
You're gonna make it so that it's impossible for Gambit to leave their base without smoking.
God, they need that Aghanim Scepter so badly for the Centaur. They're gonna run it. Not the greatest, but I almost feel like that's better than running into the Broodmother.
Oh.
But maybe they can catch more. Immersion's gonna keep on rolling forward, hoping that he's gonna catch somebody else.
There is a BKB now on this Morphling, so they have to be a little bit careful, just hard committing for.
Yeah.
And he did go for the BKB. He learned somebody else's mistake.
Yep, yep. Speaking of, yeah, we do have that BKB on the top, man. So this Spirit Vessel is just not going to be that useful, sadly, for the Earth Spirit to be a good item against the Morphling as well as this Broodmother to limit the regen factor of lifesteal or going full strength. But they both have a way, multiple ways, in fact, for the Morphling to be able to dispel that. 12 to 12. 30-minute bounties are coming up. Roshan's available. Both teams incentivized to make a move, see if they can get a pick off. Actually, I think Liquid's just gonna kind of let Gambit crash into them, play into high ground areas.
I mean, you have so much vision.
Yeah.
All the webs.
Now they both have vision over the Roshan pit. Bugged out there for a moment. All of Gambit you could see making their way across the map here into this Roshan pit. They know what's happening. They've dropped the sentries, trying to kill these TA traps. They're going to lay another one in. Afterlife's going to jump in. Man's going to stun on the Morphling. Almost pulling them up right away. They managed to get a sound there. They're going to lay down Mind Control, trying to go for him. To the side. They need vision. They do have it. Mind Control. It's going to be brought down. Miracle goes to the back line as well. Already killing the Warlock. Now trying to get Immersion as well. Who keeps up with Mind Control the time. You're going to see Curls get blown up real quickly. Find that Templar assassin. Immediately blinked onto
Get into this fight, dies. Miracle barely gets out. That was almost total disaster for Team Liquid. They somehow lost Miracle there as well.
From sight, a lucky find.
That would have been an insane fight. As it is, Gambit definitely come out on top right here.
And Miracle, I think he senses something. He's trying to get to the creep wave.
You gotta farm this creep wave. You know he is, because he's probably thinking, oh, they're on the pit right now. I should be fine this, right? I'm not sure if Afterlife can actually kill him, though. At 1,000 health, it's just a bit too much.
Dire is scanning for enemies.
It's not the greediest morph player of all time. Because a lot of morphlings, I feel, would have just, as soon as they got to that bottom area, start morphing.
Afterlife, you can, oh, that one misses the full stomp, though. That would have been massive. It would have been so big to kill that big disabler, but Emerge, it may actually die here with him. It's only his armor, the spider opened up, and now wasn't caught. He in turn is going to kill the center, trying to catch him. That means Liquid. I mean, the last fight was the way they're just not good enough for them to be able to take the rush on. Now they're the ones who are going to be forced to fly back and try and get into the pit, but there's so much physical damage coming out from Miracle can't fight this one. Templar Assassin has the refraction instances to be able to defend himself best as possible. Let's set targets a bit low, but he don't want to put that high ground, especially when you burn that mana. Expect to kill GH first, knowing that Miracle's low on mana. They can focus on other heroes here, just kill some supports and call it a day.
Still, the bigger bounty was going for that Roshan. Both teams fought back for that one sole goal. Not able to get it. They didn't have to worry about goal. Couldn't really get there nearly quick enough.
Soon we're going to have an AC for Matamba Man, but we'll take a look.
What a back and forth game 3
though. Engagement.
Considering game 1, then we had game 2, the absolute stomp.
The stompiest of probably all games that ESL won Birmingham.
And game 3, I mean, Liquid get the Roche, but barely a goal lead as we see here. He gets the back line on top of GH.
This is from Miracle's perspective, so you kind of get an idea of like, look at him, he spots those two supports, kills FNG, turns back into the Earth Spirit, and plays it so well.
Yeah, he just continues to go back in actually, getting the stun onto the TA. That's what leads to the kill in the first place. He just continues to flit inside, outside the fight. The Centaur barely doesn't catch him. He rolls back out. You can tell every single time he's targeting being the Earth Spirit.
Like, how do we get this guy? Much like how AFO like really dominated game 1 with his in and out playstyle, Miracle is doing something very similar here with his Morphling and cosplaying as an Earth Spirit. Fortunately, it looks like we may have a slight audio issue for Gambit. We're going to take a bit of a breather here. Blitz, how do you look at this game? I mean, what do you think the breakdown is right now? The net worth is dead even, but Team Liquid do have that Aegis. And did they get a cheese? They have a cheese on Matamba Man. So what do you give the win percentage right now? What would you guess?
I'm not sure because I feel like this Brood is starting to top out a little bit. Like her damage is getting less and less scary. The BB on the TA makes it so that she can just straight up right-click fight with her. And I feel like they're just one good fight away from being able to kill Miracle. Like, Miracle right now is overplaying his hero.
Yeah.
The way that he played that team fight, I mean, that was unbelievable. But if they end up catching him there, you know, they kill him, they take Roche for themselves, and this game looks completely different.
And he's 6-0-4 right now, so he's got a hefty bounty on him, both experience and gold.
You know what it feels like? It feels like those, you know, those Tinker games where your Tinker starts like 14-0, and you feel really good, and you're thinking to yourself like, oh yeah, like he's doing really well. But as soon as he dies once, like all that momentum feels like it's been deflated. That's kind of where I feel like the game's at right now, where Liquid's, they're on the verge of both winning and losing, in the sense that if Miracle dies, sure, but you know, he does end up living. They force the core buybacks, so things are somewhat okay.
Dota Plus actually saying that this game is pretty much dead even now.
Has been for the most of the game.
Yeah, it really has not dipped heavily one way or the other. This has been, I feel like this has been a pretty clean game from both sides.
Yeah, I don't see any major errors. Like that bottom play, I thought was just good play from both teams.
Yeah.
Mind Control thought he had waited long enough. I mean, he was sitting in Sandstorm for like, what, over a minute? No one went for him. Like, how much more cautious can you really get? And at the same time, like Gambit willing to make that risk.
It's about time.
The Roshan fights, I felt for the most part, I mean, everyone casted spells well. I think GH needs some way to disengage off of this TA. Right now, she's really making his life so hard. And that's just in general making the game more difficult because Liquid really relies on that CC that it brings.
Centaur is level 20, went for both the 50% double edge strength damage as well as the 20 strength, so he is trying to get as much damage out of that big nuke as possible.
They want the burst on the Morphling, so that if he hovers around like that 1000 HP range, they can just immediately blow him up.
He's 800 gold away from an Aghanim Scepter. That'll help his team run down the Morphling and the Broodmother, but also give that big defensive boost to some of these heroes like the supports in the back line.
I'm still going to kill you later.
Liquid need to find a way to get on top of FNG and just blow them up. Pre-rock. And they need to be able to keep the fight going long enough where they can kite. Because they have some of these like big burst abilities with the rock and the Centaur ult hard commitment. If you can survive those on the side of Liquid, you're good.
Yeah.
And for Gambit, it's about being able to blow up the Shaman and then getting on top of the Morphling and sort of working on it together. Similar to how they just kited the Troll. The scary part about Morpho is like he has so many ways to get in and out of the fights that it's not just that simple of being able to like hex him once and he dies.
We're gonna have some sick Aghanim Scepters. This game does continue to go even and plays out for the long game.
And you've got the Morphling.
Morphling one. Yeah, I wonder if you would, because the Centaur is already building an Aghanim Scepter, and so is Warlock. Do you give one to Old Troll?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, if they try and kill the Templar Assassin, that would be super scary.
It's like the
Air Spirit.
Air Spirit, yeah.
I'm sure you'd rather have that big save mechanism.
Plus, it's just cool. You get the reset fights.
Yeah.
Maybe you send Miracle away so he can't deal damage.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
For the more Liquid feeling like they've got a good advantage, and they should for another minute and a half.
Where's Dire's bottom tower?
That's how long till the Aegis expires. They're going to take that tier 2 bottom lane. Gambit just playing the other side of the map.
Is under attack.
But they're going to have to come back eventually here. A lot of circling going on right now from Afterlife. The area, I'm not sure if they're just drawing right where Liquid is right now and where they're going to be moving around. But sure enough, Gambit starts showing. You know they've got to, but again, Liquid can do the same thing they did in game 2, which is they can kind of push you pretty heavily. They're going to be able to jump the Morphling here. Too urgent about this. They are going to be able to get that nutmeg as the Templar Assassin hits level 25. So that's something Liquid will have to worry about for sure. But they do get a tier 3.
You can reset off of this. They get 2 tier 3s, and as a result, they're gonna go for the Shrine. They know that the Aegis is about to run out.
Guys, the bottom shrine is falling.
That's one of those situations where both teams are sort of okay with it. Liquid thinks to themselves, we got 2 tier 3 towers. We've opened up the map further. We put Gambit in a position where if they lose one clean team fight, game's done. And for Gambit, they've got to be pretty happy that the second Roshan of the game doesn't just straight up lead to racks being taken.
Yeah. All that net worth that Liquid just gained, though, is going to help them for that third Roshan that's coming up. Maybe just a double damage fight. Wait around this power rune a little while.
He does so much. 700 a hit with this DD. More than that when he's near Vlad's aura. I've got to be so careful.
He's got the waveform hit, so quickly kills the creep wave, and I think a Gambit, seeing that, should play a little cautious. Actually got a 8-hour action here.
Do you really? I mean, this is still a pretty scary fight with DD1. It's active from some time.
The battle trance goes down. This BKB though should be fine. The Hawk's actually healing up a decent amount in the back line. They don't have to right now. Miracle, they actually do manage to get on.
Double kill.
He's running down. They're trying to push off here. Spirit turn in. Get away. Can he actually get out? He turns back.
Killing spree. Double kill.
Down. He finally does fall. Straight dead on the side of Blink. Carlos
Matungman going after the summon, but he killed the Hawk. He does manage to get him. Appo turns around, kills Colonel, trying to get a lot of damage onto Appo off of the side blades as well. 4 dead from Team Liquid, as apparently the double damage doesn't make a difference when both your Troll and TA, they squad up to just take down the big boy of Miracle.
Yeah, and the game becomes so much easier once GH is out of the picture. Because now that these BKBs are getting lower, Apple understands we need to just kill the Shaman, then we can split up the fight and we can just sort of all in on this Morphling. The Brood itself doesn't do enough damage right now to scare them. It's going to build what looks like a Hex, which I think is completely the right idea there.
I mean, this is a Morphling without Lincoln's Sphere, because it's like he hasn't had to worry about that part. So if he can blink Scythe and then melt bash him.
They committed so much to trying to kill the Hawk there. They overcommitted.
Yes.
And they had the DD morph, but he wasn't really able to get on top of anybody.
I think they also got, I mean, it was a sick rock from FNG, just timed perfectly to get the battle trance off.
Yeah, and you see Miracle right here with the DD has to run away now, because he understands that he just can't fight this guy. He has no point. So this is eventually lose the DD. Them being able to save the Hawk with that rock.
Looks like Spiders have currently taken range barracks and brought the other range barracks down to about half health. So this is going to be one of the problems of losing your tier 3s, is that your buildings can just start getting chipped away.
What's GH have right now? Because I feel like he needs
Blink Dagger, Lens, Ghost Scepter, and soon to be an Aeon.
He's built all on this concept. Yeah. He understands the name of the game. It's if I die, the fight becomes nearly impossible. There's only so much your Morph can do going in by himself. You need some form of disable.
I love Disc on Shadow Shaman too. It's like you're not really there for your damage.
Yeah. Shackles will deal your damage.
Yeah.
Like once these BKB start to get lower and lower, it becomes even more important for him to be able to live. Because if you just have a simple X there on the Troll, you win that fight no problem.
Yeah. Oh, Satanic, always such a big pickup on the Troll. Both the status resistance and trying to burst him down with disables, but then on top of that, just means that when he turns around with his battle trance, he goes up to full HP.
Yeah. By the way, Afo, I said how he needed to perform. He had the last pick of the game. This is usually your let me carry you guys hero, and in the early game we didn't really see it, but with this level 25 and just the sheer amount of farm that he's gotten in this game, starting to step up.
He certainly is. Level 25 soon for each Warlord.
What do we need to dispel? Which Roche is it?
Oh, they're just gonna... It is gonna be the Action Scepter one, and they are taking this Roshan so quickly. GH sitting on the side here. Just going for Miracle as best as possible. He turns into a troll, just the whirling axis of his own. As see Roshan die, Gambit are going to try and back up a little bit here. Roshan's still being... Still up, right? Yeah, it is still up. They actually left at about half HP, so Gambit can actually go inside themselves. If they want to be real risky, they've got the double rock to try and zone out something. They do it very good. Look at Immersion just diving forward, does manage to get the sounds of Miracle, quickly taken away by the Manta. He's going to follow up. He's going to be able to get the stun. He kick him back, and he kick Miracle back somehow. The interior blade turns into a troll, and to finish up this Spirit. Can he get a inside? Snorkeling for him immediately. That's when Appo jumps. A massive pickoff. Not only being able to just take that Roshan now, Aegis Cheese, Aghanim Scepter, but now they may be able to force a buyback out of Miracle.
This is what we were talking about with, if he dies once, the game feels like this.
Yeah.
He's all your damage. I mean, late game, yeah. He's going to feel very good, and if his team could actually support him, but they can't get through the rest of Gambit's heroes. Like the double rock, immersion rolling in, there's just too many threats that they have to cut through, and I mean, GH, this is probably one of the harder Shaman games that you're going to have to play, because Apple understands this game. He knows all I have to do is kill you. All of a sudden, there's no disables.
I mean, Matungman just trying to buy time, just throwing spiders down the lane as much as possible, and it seems to have worked.
I mean, his build is cute, but you're at the point now where a lot of his items don't really add to the damage being done in the game. The Aghanim Scepter, for example, it's nice, but no actual damage. The Medallion is starting to top out, so is the Diffusal, now that everyone's got a BKB.
He did do it, by the way. Aghanim's Troll. So he can lay it out on that Templar Assassin. I'm not sure if he needed the... He does go for the Strong Dispel. So that means they try and like chain stun the TA or anything like that. Somehow they get the jump. He actually has a save mechanism for him now, not just the Warlock Golem.
Do they have the Vlads or anything on their team?
I'm sure they do, right? That's got to be Afterlife's job. No, he doesn't, because he had to go for that fast Aghanim Scepter. So they don't have a Vlad anywhere there.
It would pair very nicely with that, being able to reset the TA.
Yeah.
But...
And you always love it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
10,000 gold lead right now for Gambit as Liquid, they look to this Brood Mother for game number 3, but last 2 team fights have all been Gambit. They've done such a good job of getting their 2 cores on top.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And now this Hex. Miracle's not able to play that launch
Radiant's middle
as he
tower
used
has
to.
fallen.
And soon Dahak will have some extra disables as well, as he's going to be going for the Basher Abyssal, I'm sure. And with plenty of time left on the Aegis to start beating on the tier 3 here.
They need to get Gambit's backline, but FG so well tucked away.
That's where Covenant can come in.
Radiant's middle tower has
FNG, the Stampede, and he just somebody Burrow Dragon on the triple. He just came back, now he's dead. There's the buyback on the supports as well, but triple worked out. Apple's almost dead, trying to finish him off. He actually does manage Ghost after a little bit, and then he's going to be okay. That's actually the Aghanim Scepter. Running Soul, buying him more time on his Aegis than is just the first life, though. A lot of him, I love though, Miracle turning in, acting at the field with multiple heroes, and they get the jump down, Miracle, they can't let him die. He realizes instead of fighting wants to take against both him and the TA, he's turning on the way, turns back into the wall, like he's giving himself a kill, but it's only him and Matop, and fight this one out. He's a killer version, but he's massive with the zombies. I can make him down. The Miracle turning his dead, going for the Brute. Now Mercer blows back uphill. Another drop, the fatal blow. He's gonna die here together. His team Liquid. Miracle's just doing everything to get him more time, because they've got no 5 next except for him. Miracle did it once this tournament, but I don't see how he can do it a second time. It's Gambit C. This is their opportunity to eliminate Team Liquid. They're going to go for the tier 4. They're going to go for the second one. They're going to go for the throne. And for
that Radiant just let fire bang on their range. Yep, this one's just about over. I'll get it better on
I actually feel so little damage that there's no one I can kill.
Absolutely beautifully well done by Gambit.